Welcome to our first Women in Business interview. So the purpose of this today and all the interviews is I wanted to find a way to shine a light on all the fabulous members that are coming to the women groups. And I was thinking, how can I do this? And I thought, brilliant, just have a conversation with the members who dare to say yes and come on to this podcast interview and just have a conversation with them. So the first one who said yes is Helen Shah. So welcome, Helen. And all I'm
Hi.
going to do is just ask you some questions so we can find out a little bit more about you.
hmm
And you can tell us your experience of networking. Is that all right?
Yeah.
Great. So tell me what you do.
So I am a nutritionist, but I'm also a pharmacist as well. I've been a pharmacist for 20 years, and I specialise in helping people to incorporate healthy eating into their daily life, into their unique situation, one small step at a time, to help them to improve their long-term health and reduce the risk of disease. But yeah, I focus really on helping people and hand-holding them through their what can seem like a really daunting journey and breaking it down into really simple and practical steps specifically for them. So, not how I do it or how another client does it, but really looking at their lifestyle and how they can implement it within that space.
And what made you start this business, this fabulous business?
Well, like I mentioned, I've been a pharmacist for more than 20 years, working in community pharmacy and urgent care. And I became a little bit disheartened, really, because my patients' bags of medicines were getting heavier and heavier every year as their chronic diseases progressed. Because unfortunately, there wasn't enough focus on the prevention
Mhm.
of these diseases. So I decided that that's something I wanted to focus on. I wanted to stop people almost getting pushed into the river of disease rather than just pulling people out of the other end. So I decided to go back to university, study for a master's in human nutrition, and then combine my years of experience as a pharmacist with the nutrition. And yeah,
The
this is how I
pharmacist
got there.
nutritionist. I can't even say
Yes.
it, pharmacist nutritionist. And what is it you love most about what you do?
Um, the helping people. That's what I'm really motivated by. I feel that I have this really important knowledge that I've gained over all of these years, and I don't want to gatekeep that information. I want to pass it on to people. But the world is really overwhelming with the amount of information that we get now. A lot of it conflicting, and some of it, unfortunately, not true, especially on social media. And I really want to just streamline that information into really understandable, bite-sized pieces that can help people build that foundation. And when I see people be able to grasp those concepts and then use them in their daily life, in even in areas outside of my work with them, that it's just so rewarding seeing people being able to make those changes.
And I am one of your clients
Yes.
because I was probably an ideal client because I am 48 years old and
Mhm.
probably been on a diet all of my life from eating because eating is something we have to do. You cannot
Yes.
eat.
Yeah.
But there is no real honest guidance out there.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
everything you see in the supermarkets or on TV, it's all about marketing. It's whoever's got the
Yes.
biggest marketing budget. And they
Yeah.
really don't care about you and
Mhm.
your health. And then they just put sticky plasters on it, don't they, when you've got a problem. I've been working with you now, I don't know how long, a couple of months.
Yeah. 4 months.
Yeah, and my requirement was I just wanted some one-to-one knowledge and with an independent person who could tell me what actually is happening to my body when I put food in my mouth.
Mhm. Mhm.
And it's not about weight loss. Weight loss is a byproduct,
Yeah.
isn't it? It's all about how to live a long and happy life. And for the first time, because I'm 48 and I'm thinking about the next stage of my life, I want to know what's going on inside and the
Yes.
impact of the food that I'm eating. And we've
Yeah.
already, because you have some wonderful site, because and we've done our disc profile, haven't we? We've just done your disc profile. So you are a perfect style for this because you're detailed orientated
Mhm.
and you love the analysis part. And
Yeah.
so you offer the analysis of how long your life has been extended, your risk of heart disease, all that stuff that we don't probably care
Yeah.
about because we're too busy about what we look like on the
Yeah.
outside.
Mhm.
And now I'm thinking about that stage in my life because that's what we're working for. We keep working for retirement or earning money so we can have a long, happier life. And that's actually how you help people. So I'm all about how can I earn loads of money and live a long, happy life and enjoy it. You know what I mean? Actually enjoy it. Live and
Yeah,
be a healthy 80-year-old, be a healthy 90-year-old. 110 I'm going to be, right? I've
yeah,
got to get enough money to look after me till I'm 110.
yeah.
Um, and it's absolutely fantastic and what you do. Um, Before we go on to your packages, and so
Mhm.
we can find out how we can work
Mhm.
with you, I just want to ask you a little bit more about networking because
Yeah.
what was your experience of networking? So, what group are you a member of?
So I am a member of your Wiban Altrincham group, the afternoon group,
Mhm.
and I've been a member since about May time.
May. Let me do my numbers. May, June, July, August, September, October. 6 months I have to do.
Yeah.
I'm an accountant, boss. Let me do my fingers, right? So in 6 months,
hmm
um, wow. So what was your experience of networking before you walked through the doors of a Wibbing group?
Well, I think that I feel like I hit the jackpot really, finding the Wiban group. So I had started my business in January and I hadn't been to any networking previously because I was terrified of it and I felt like it wouldn't be a place for me. And because I was only just starting off with this specific business, um, that I couldn't go because I wasn't far enough down the journey. And it was through a business connection who she'd received a flyer about your Wiban group, and she couldn't make it, so she said to me, why don't you go?" And I had it for a couple of weeks before I applied, and yeah, and to be honest, it was the best thing that I ever did. So I felt so nervous before I came, especially knowing that I had to talk for a minute about my business. But it was such a welcoming environment when I arrived. It wasn't what I expected at all. It was
What did you
a
expect?
bunch,
What was you expecting?
I don't know, like really serious, like business people who have everything sorted, and that they would look at me and think, well, you're just playing at having a business. It's not a real thing. But it wasn't my experience at all. People were really welcoming, and obviously got to meet you, which was, fantastic. You bring so much energy, and you're really inclusive of people. It's not like a cliquey situation where everybody knows each other and nobody will talk to you. People are really interested in finding out who you are, and really how they can help. And yeah, I absolutely, after I came to the first one, I was like, right, yeah, definitely sign up for a member, because I think it has, for someone who's nervous like me and can worry about how things will be on the day. Wiban it has a structure to it, which I like structure. It's something to hang the fun from,
Yeah,
I feel,
yeah, I
rather than it
love
just being
that.
totally,
I'm the same. I
freestyle.
love that. I love that
Yeah,
saying something to hang the fun from because you can't just
yeah,
have fun. Like someone says, go and have some fun. Oh,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
I love it.
And it really helps to keep the meeting flowing.
Mhm.
And there's all the different parts of the meeting. Everybody gets a turn to speak. And it means that everybody gets more out of it. Yeah, and I'm just so glad that I got that flyer and that I took the plunge to do it. Because it wasn't how I expected. It's fun and it's so supportive. Everybody is there looking not for what they can get out of it, but what they can give to other
Yeah.
people. And just naturally, I guess it's like karma, isn't it? What you give out that you get back. And yeah, absolutely love it.
And it's so true. And I'm glad you're saying those words because you are when you do your ideal client, you do an ideal client
hmm
avatar, don't you, for your clients? And I have one for women.
hmm
And you're an ideal client. Do you know what I mean? Nervous, wants to come, but
Yeah,
your steps outside your comfort zone. You had a goal, which is to talk about your business. Your goal is to grow your
yeah,
business, isn't it? And
hmm
you'll do anything
yeah,
to make that happen. You put yourself outside your comfort zone and you loved it and you joined straight away. That's like
Yeah.
fantastic. It's fabulous.
Yeah.
So can you share with me um, how networking has helped you personally and your business? Because that's why we do it, isn't it? We're not just doing it to
Yes.
spend some money, have a nice lunch. We're there to grow
Yeah.
ourselves and our business.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's definitely helped me personally believe that I have a business.
Yeah.
Sounds strange because I did have one before. It was just how I was perceiving it. Things do start slowly and they start small and they build up. But through Wibbon, I've made great friends and I've also got great supporters now as well,
Mm.
who I feel I can ask questions of if I'm not sure of something. People have been through this process before. There's members who are further along the journey than me, or people who are, less experienced than me. And it's great to have people who can remember what that's like and give you the advice of how they got round those different situations. And also because there's such a wide range of different businesses, we're not all in the same field. It means there's always somebody to ask a question of. Like, oh, I was thinking a bit of something about social media. How do I change this setting on here that you've never done before? And there'll be somebody who can do it, or you're needing to outsource something. There might be a virtual assistant who can take on something for you or recommend something. And so that's been great, but also it's helped me to get clients. So not only through the people that I've met within the meetings, like yourself and other people, but also the people that I have met through Wibbon have referred me to other people. So I've got referrals through them as well. But also it's helped me to meet other people to collaborate with. So I'm not just doing it on my own anymore. So in October, I had a women's wellness and empowerment event with 3 other people that I'd met through Wibbon. And that was fantastic. I can't, if you'd said to me before I walked through the door in May, within like 5, 6 months, you'll be running an event where people are paying money to come to your event to hear you speak about your area, like your specialist area. I never would have believed it. I
I
didn't
love
think it
that
was
saying.
possible.
I like doing that to myself. I do it to everybody I meet. If I would have told you
Yeah.
6 months ago that you'd be doing
Mm-mm-mm-mm.
this, would you
No,
believe me? And we all need
not a
to
chance.
do that. We need to do that to plug the gap. So the question is, give yourself a timeline. If you would have told me
Mm.
that X would have happened 6 months
Mm.
ago, would you believe me?
Mm.
And I always like to do this at the end of the year.
Mm.
So in December, I always like to go, right, okay, have a look at everything you've achieved
Yeah.
like last year, in the year.
Mhm.
The stuff like you got the good and the bad, let's just be
Yeah.
honest. I mean, it's not
Hmm.
these experiences. If you would have told me that X, Y would have happened this year,
Yeah.
never would have believed you. Like, write them all down, right? Write it
Yeah.
all down. It's a really good exercise. I'll probably do this in a Wibbon as an exercise, actually. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to write this down because I'll forget. And then, right, look at it all, look at that list and go, wow, like the good and the bad, not so good because, and then, in January or when we start setting our goals for the following year, yeah,
Yeah.
we always seem to go a bit like, bit small, don't we, with our
Yeah.
goals, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And I wanted to take a look at that list and go, God, if I could never have predicted what happened
Hmm.
last year,
Yeah.
all your goals are stuff that you think that's probably going to happen. So I want you
Yeah.
to like lift the roof off your goal setting and your visions and
Mm.
just put it down. Just go for it. Absolutely go for it. Because if you couldn't have predicted last year,
Yeah.
you really can't predict this year. That's what I'm trying.
No.
That's the message. You
Yeah.
can't really predict what's going to happen, but you can aim
Yeah.
high and put your focus
Yeah.
on it.
Yeah.
Um, so I love doing that exercise for me. I do it for
Yeah.
everybody. In
Yeah.
fact, I tell we should do it for each other's. I always say it to my husband, I say it to my best friends, I say it to everyone, and they go, "God, again." I'm like, I know, but
Yeah.
it's good
Yeah.
good stuff.
Yeah.
This it's good
Yeah.
stuff.
And I feel like within the Wibbon environment, if you write these dreams down, where you want to be, and then if you said that out loud to a room full of Wibbon people in a meeting, even if you don't quite believe it at the time, everybody else will be like, yeah, you can do this because you could do it like this, or then and they'll help you to like shape that dream because they
Yeah,
all have their own experiences. So it's a bit like, often many people, I guess, who join Wibbon probably work on their own or in really small groups. And actually what Wibbon does is it gives you kind of those extra departments within your company just
yeah.
for to be a sounding board for ideas, which is, yeah,
I always say that, share your dreams. You know,
yeah.
I've got loads of sayings. If you don't ask, you don't get. So I keep asking until I get a yes. Anyone says no to me, I'm like, I'll change
I
the
don't think many
question.
people say no, though, do they, Susie?
I've got good at asking the right question, I think. So yes, so share your dreams. I love that one. Um, go big with your goals. That's another good one.
Yeah.
So what are you doing now that wouldn't be possible if it wasn't for networking? Or
Um,
what now or what's next? Do you know what I mean?
So, well, the event that my
Mm.
in-person event that I ran is like a perfect example. And before I joined Wibbon, I envisaged myself just doing one-to-one clients, which I really love because I can seeing that change and seeing how far people can come is absolutely fantastic. But now after doing this, running this in-person event, I realized that that's another avenue where I can reach a large group of people and start that journey of change and understanding. And I feel that's something that I'm going to do more of now to run more events and to start running group courses as well,
Mhm.
which I never would have thought I could do that before. But now having those experiences of passing on that information within that event setting. I loved it. I really loved the feeling of the room, the buzz, the interaction with people. Yeah, and I want to take that forward just so I can reach more people.
Yeah. So it's going from a one-to-one
Yeah,
package to a one-to-many.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and then I always think so in 6 short months, if you think about it that way. So in 12 months, I'm going to ask you to do this bit of an exercise in the last 12 months. If you would have told me, I never would have believed you. And
Oh
then
yeah,
the next 12 months, I'm definitely going to do this as a January exercise in my whipping group.
yeah,
Definitely.
yeah.
What are your top tips for networking? What advice would you give to people?
Okay, so I would say step outside of your comfort zone. So, because amazing things can happen if
Mhm.
we always stay within the boundaries of what we feel comfortable with, that can be fine and we can feel safe, but it's hard to expand from that. It kind of holds you back. So, taking small steps to do things that make you feel a little bit uncomfortable at first, but actually then you realize that you can do it.
Mhm.
We all are amazing and we have it inside us, but we just need to practice it. It's not that we can't do it, it's just we haven't learned how to do it yet. And Wibbon gives you a great platform to do that. So giving you the opportunity to do your 1 minute speech or every month or to do your spotlight session. In fact, I'm doing a business topic next week, so that's another push outside of that comfort zone. But I'm really looking forward to that.
Sorry about that, it's the
Yeah.
dogs. But yes, tell us what your business topic's about.
So my business
What's your
topic is
title? We talked about this yesterday, didn't we? What's your title?
I can't remember.
Heart of the matter. Look, this is Kissy, I'm natural. This is everyone. Um, it's called Heart of the Matter: Empowering Women to Take Charge Against Heart Disease. See, I'll tell you. If you ever forget, you've
There you
got
are.
me to remind you.
Yeah. I mean, I know the content, the title. The title's quite hard, isn't it?
It's always, I find the title's the hardest bit. I'm the
Yeah,
same. I always
yeah,
get all the content, and then some people are so good at me doing the catchy line
yeah,
or the strap lines, and I'm just go, it's a talk. Do you know what I mean?
yeah,
So yes, you're
yeah.
going to tell us about what we're not going to. Do you want to share a little bit what it's about?
Yeah, well, so it's about, well, spoiler alert, it's about heart disease. And traditionally that can be thought of as a man's disease and something that women don't need to worry about. But actually, it is a massive killer of women.
Mm.
It kills twice as many women as breast cancer. And it's something that we should be talking about more, especially as we get older. Our risk for heart disease increases, particularly around the perimenopause, menopause time. And a large proportion of heart disease is preventable through diet and lifestyle change. So it's not inevitable. We don't just have to accept that that will happen to us. But because we don't talk about it, we don't understand what we can do to change it. So that's what my business topic's going to be about. So understanding, first of all, what heart disease is and how we can make small changes that can help to reduce our risk.
Yeah, because I got an invite from the doctor. You always, every now and again, you get a letter from the doctor. You need to come in and get some tests. You're like, oh, so
Mm-hmm.
you must be on a database, really. When you get hit a
Yeah,
certain age, you get a trigger to get a letter.
yeah,
It was blood tests. It was only last year, this year or last year, can't remember. And it was to talk about that, looking at your bloods, and they
yeah.
talk about your risk factors,
Mm-hmm.
and heart disease was on there. But all they tell you is numbers.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I
Yeah.
can't remember, but they just tell you numbers, and I go, right, okay. So
Mm-hmm.
like you're 68, brilliant. What's that mean?
Yeah.
Is that good? Is that bad? I'm just probably wasn't that, but they just tell you numbers.
Yeah.
And say, for example, the range is between 4 and 6. They'll go, oh,
Mm-hmm.
you're a 5, right? So what you need to do,
Mm-hmm.
you need to get to a 4. I'm like, brilliant. How?
What does that
They
mean?
don't. They don't. They just what you really need to do is get to 4. Fantastic. I know what I need to
Yeah.
do, but I don't know why, and I don't know
Mm-hmm.
how. But
Yeah.
that's what you help people with, isn't it? That's how you help them.
Yes.
You help them understand. You make it real. You make it
Mm-hmm.
real for them. You make it real for
Mm-hmm.
me. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and my biggest takeaway from working with you is not looking at the calorie counter because
Mm-hmm.
I should and I don't. Just sorry, I'm your worst client. I just want you to know, probably. Um, you log it all in
Yeah.
MyFitnessPal. I was always so focused on the calorie count,
Yeah.
not actually the quality of the calorie. Do you
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
And then it only tells you about fat,
Yeah.
carbs, and protein, doesn't
Yeah.
it? We're all focused on
Yeah.
protein now.
Yeah.
But I don't know if I'm going to spoiler alert, but you talk about fiber. And I'm like,
Oh
fiber?
yeah.
What the hell is
Yeah.
fiber? And I tried to
The
Google what
unsung
fiber.
hero of the food world that
Yeah.
nobody's talking about because it's not as sexy as protein.
No, fiber is the bomb, right? So
Yeah.
now I'm thinking every time I eat something, I go, where's my fiber?
Yeah.
How can I get more fiber in that? And the other day I was on the go. My Phil wasn't here to look after me. Everybody knows Phil. He
Oh.
makes my breakfast, my lunch, and my tea. He's been looking after me now for 2 years. I met him 3 years ago, come up to 3 years ago, and he took over everything straight away. All the stuff that I hate doing, like the cooking, the cleaning, just everything. He's the hub of the house, right? And all of a sudden, after 2 years, I've like forgotten how to do everything. I've become that person, and like like a teenage kid, like, where's my dinner right now? Um, and I had no food in. He'd not left me any lunch. So I was just going to go to the shop. What I would have normally done is go to Co-op and got a tuna sweet corn sandwich, right? Because I like tuna, brain food. That's what I'm thinking.
Mhm.
And then I thought, Susan, where is the fibre in that? So Phil had made some pre-made sweet potato jack potatoes that you told me about. Cook
Yeah.
your sweet potatoes, put them in the freezer. So I had one of them, and we bought some like taco baked beans. Like instead of Heinz baked beans, you can get like
Yeah.
chilo. And it wasn't sexy. Oh, and I had some frozen veg, steam bag veg.
Yeah.
I just thought, put it in the microwave, did that, and I looked through it, and there's fibre in that.
Yeah. 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 And what a difference. Like if you had a plate with that tuna sandwich, that white bread tuna sandwich bought from a shop on one plate, and then on the other plate, that meal with all the colour. I
Yeah,
mean, what a difference.
yeah.
And that kind of typifies your journey, really, doesn't it? Like
And
from
that's
where you started to where you are now, that you chose to do that.
Yeah,
That
and
you
that's what you do. You give us replacements in bite-sized chunks. You don't look at every single meal because you've got your snacks, your breakfast, your lunch, your evening meal. You target small little things. It's not overwhelming, because all we've got to do is relearn and reprogram. But we need help
yeah.
to do that. So I highly recommend working with Helen. So
Mhm.
one more question before we go to your member offer, right? Okay.
Mhm.
Um, what 5 words describe networking with women?
Oh. Um, Amazing, empowering, supportive, happiness, and interesting. Like
Yes.
it's so interesting. Like there's always something different every time you come. Like it's not just this same stale environment. It's totally different every time.
Yeah.
And who you're hearing from. And I really love that.
There's different words, different people say things, and you take it on, you learn lessons,
Yeah.
don't you? And
Yeah.
sometimes you go and you're like, I needed to come today. Sometimes I've gone, I'm like, you're
Yeah.
busy, you got too much on, and it's easy to
Hmm.
go, it's not important. But when you come, you're like, you know what, I needed to come today because I needed to hear that.
Yeah.
I needed to meet that person.
Yeah. 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 You always leave feeling I can do it.
Mm.
It's amazing how different you feel from walking through the door to leaving. Like you really do feel like you've been given a pep talk, and lifted up.
And then finally, what is your Women member offer?
Okay, so my
Let's
Wibbon
talk about
off.
your packages first. Maybe
Oh,
talk
okay.
about your packages, how we can work with
Okay.
you, and then
Yeah.
your member offer.
Okay, so you can work with me in a very traditional way, which would be to book an initial appointment where we would look at your diet and lifestyle history. You'd fill out quite a detailed questionnaire for me, and together would look at where you would like to take your nutrition. Where do you want to be, or what is it that you want to be able to do that you can't do now? And then we'd set regular follow-ups after that however long that you would like to do it. But my most popular package is a 3-month package, which has 4 appointments in, because that gives the support, motivation, and accountability to make those changes. So I call it, it's called Nourish Rebalance, but it's a kickstart package. So it gives you that initial oomph to know, right, I'm going to make some changes. And it's amazing what you can do in 3 months. So with that one, you get the initial appointment, two follow-ups, and then a review at the end of the 3 months. That's 4 appointments. And yeah, so I do that online or in person. And yeah, so for Wibbon members, there's 10% off that package, off the 3-month package, because it's for me, it's the best way to do it because I know you can make changes during that time. And it takes time to learn this information. It's not what I'm doing, it's not a quick fix that you can see me once and then everything will be different. You can see me once and we can look and highlight the areas to work on. But change takes time and habit building takes time. And understanding why something's good for you is also a learning process as well. So 3 months and it's amazing what changes you can see.
And I've just got one more question, and I've just thought about it now. We talked about dreams earlier when you said share your dreams.
Mhm.
What is your dream for your business?
My
Just
dream
say it
would be,
without, yeah, just say it.
I don't
Say
know.
it.
It's really hard. It's really hard. Um, Really, I would like everybody, everybody to know the some of the information that I know at a basic level, to understand the foundations of a healthful diet that can support you and nourish your body and to help you have the most healthful years that you can. And yeah, so my dream is to be able to reach a really wide audience for them to start to be able to make those changes
Yeah.
and to improve their health.
That needs to be somewhere at the top of a vision board because that is the high level what. The
Mm.
universe helps you with the how. So the laws of attraction, the laws of universe, right? So it's your job is to do your what and
Hmm.
your why, right?
Yeah,
The how, the who, the when really has nothing to do with us.
yeah,
Because the universe has a magic way of bringing the right people your way to help
yeah,
you get what you need. So keep that high and clear so that have a basic knowledge of understanding about food so that they can help
yeah,
themselves. Yeah.
yeah,
It's a great dream.
yeah. Which is something that you would just assume because we all eat food
Yeah.
that we would already have. But unfortunately, as you said, these companies market and brainwash us all the
We've got a
time.
bigger marketing budget. Yeah.
Yeah, nobody's making millions out of broccoli, unfortunately.
Well, thank you very much. Thanks, Helen, for being the first guest for the Women in Business
You're welcome.
interview. Did you enjoy it? Was not as scary as you thought,
Yes.
was it?
No, it wasn't, no.
And I'll see you in a few weeks.
Perfect. Yeah. See you later.